from speaking to a couple of people that would have played with you, they're all saying the same thing, that you were, you're so focused, you gave your all to it, and you could see that with your performances on the pitch then as well. When that sadly is Galway hurling takes so much of your life, when that's removed out of your life, everything you would have talked about, your huge amount of time that you spend on the pitch, training and behind the scenes, when that's taken away from you, how much of a struggle was that for you personally?
Yeah, I suppose when I think of it, Jonathan, like from 16 years of age, you're just locked into this dream, and playing with the county was the be all and end all for me. And it wasn't probably a healthy relationship, because it is going to come to an end at some stage. But when I was in it, I just got so absorbed in it. I think nearly every waking hour of every day, you'd have a thought around Galway hurling, or preparation, or how could we get better, or how could I get better, or how could we help the team. And you're having so many conversations with teammates around it, management around it, and every aspect of your day is built around it, be it what you're eating, how you're sleeping, how you're hydrating, how you're recovering, what your training plan is for the day, what your training plan is for the week. Getting yourself ready for the game on Sunday from a mental aspect, meeting one or two coaches and mentors outside of training, doing your analysis through video. You get very consumed and absorbed in it, and that was me maybe for 14 or 15 years of my life. And then to just be told at 29 or 30 that you're not in the panel, and not really seeing a way back, you can't just switch off from that. And it did take me the guts of 4 years before
Wow.
that pain of being cut was really had left me. I can remember even standing 2 years out of it in 2015, and Andy Smith and David Collins were captain, and we were playing Kilkenny in the All-Ireland final. And I was working as a sports psychologist with the minors on the same day. And at half-time, Galway were leading Kilkenny by 4 points. And, in me, I was like wanting to leave the stadium, Jonathan, being honest about it. I just couldn't bear to see the lads winning and maybe not being a part of that after giving, the guts of 14, 15 years to it. And, I was only 31 years of age. I felt I could give something to the setup that would have helped and made the defence as competitive as it could be. So that was a difficulty for me, even at half-time in that game. If the lads won, would I be able to stay there? And the reason for that was I felt I would have broke down mentally and emotionally if they did win it. And, I was thinking of leaving the stadium at half-time, because I didn't know what way I would have reacted at the final whistle to that. And I didn't want to break down in front of people. But two of the selectors started chatting to me from the minor team, and the next thing my avenue to get out was gone, and the second half started, and Kilkenny just took over. And I think we got maybe 2 scores from playing the whole second half, and Kilkenny ended up winning maybe 3 or 4 points. And it was listen, there was devastation at the end again for so many of my friends that had been there from 2005 as well, that they didn't win the All-Ireland, and just felt like a real missed opportunity again for Galway hurling. And you were kind of wondering, how long more since 88 would it be for the next group to win. And thankfully, when we got there in 17, I was working with the minors again and won the All-Ireland that day with the minors. And I was able to enjoy the whole senior final. I was just so delighted. I went down the pitch afterwards and meeting my own clubmate John Hanbury and Aidan Hart and Joe Canning and Conor Cooney and Niall Burke and all those lads. It was just a lovely moment, and it just, for me, it was therapeutic to see that I'd healed that much, that I was able to embrace and enjoy it like the rest of the county for the next 2 to 3 days. And but it did take me that 3 or 4 years to really get over that upset of not being able to, I suppose, go out on your own terms and sign off and say goodbye to people in the right manner. And that was a real struggle for me for a couple of years after that.
Yeah, because I don't want to delve into too much, but one of the if the story that I read is true, that it ended on a phone call after giving so much of your life and dedication, and you only described I'm sure it's only a fraction of your kind of, not even workload, but how your life was geared towards wearing the maroon jersey, to not have a chance to properly say goodbye. Getting removed would have been bad, but all the other, I suppose, the coldness of it all, not that there's ever a good way to remove someone from a situation, but I can only imagine, I'm thinking about it myself, in even other nowhere near comparisons. Smaller teams, if you're removed, there's almost a bitterness there. You don't want the team on. In a weird way, it's where there's a poor reflection of my personality. You're removed and the team are playing at a big final. You know what? I don't even want them to win now. And it's a team that you've put so much, effort to and so much of your life, and that must have been such a bombshell to, because such a range of emotions to try and manage for an amateur athlete being in that professional environment, to just be gone like that as well. I'm not quite sure how I personally would have imagined that situation. I won't lie.
Listen, and that's the strangest thing, Jonathan, that, Party didn't want the team to win in case you were
Yeah,
going to miss
yeah,
out, and the
yeah.
hope that you
It's
might get
totally
back in the
understandable.
following year. And it's such a weird motion because,
Yeah,
everything in your being for the last 14 or 15
exactly.
years wanted the county to be successful. And then all of a sudden you're having these painful thoughts and painful emotions in your body. And it just like so painful and so emotional to bear. And, it's such dark times when I think back on it, just emotional, crying watching matches, and, crying, missing out on events with teammates that you'd shared a dressing room for 10 or 12 years. And it took so much out of me at the time. It was really, really difficult. And, I think it has helped me now in my practice working with athletes to, suppose, I help manage that better within management teams around their communication, and also the athletes that, there has to be life outside of sport. There has to be a plan after sport. And, it's only one role that you're going to be doing during the week. And I always look at that with athletes and say, you're a brother here, you're a son, you're a friend, you're an athlete, you're a teammate, you're a teacher. Maybe you have so many roles within the week that you can get fulfillment out of it too. And, you might be looked at as that athlete identity in your own eyes, and some people might only see it as that, but it's important that you see your value in other parts of the community and other parts of society as well. And people do see in different roles for different reasons, and do see your value as a human being in different ways. So it's trying to differentiate that athletic identity for people that, there's probably 9 or 10 parts to your personality here that people appreciate, and it's to identify those values and those behaviors that people admire in you, and also the other skills that you transfer from a sports environment into other domains to be successful as well, and can be successful and have that sense of achievement and fulfillment.